Donald Trump attempt of assassination, everybody's talking about it right now. That event could have changed the course of history, and when I watched that clip, I was really shocked myself. And yeah, I mean, who would have expected that in 2024 there would have been an attempt of assassination on the life of Donald Trump? Right in front of me, I got a video of Patrick Bet David talking to Eric Prince. He is a former U.S. Navy SEAL, and he is the founder of Blackwater USA, which is a private military company that provided security services during the Iraq War. And he will be sharing his thoughts regarding how the secret services handled the assassination or the attempt of assassination that took place at Trump's rally. So let's check this out and hear his thoughts.
A good Wi-Fi for us to hear your point of view, but I'll start off with a very open-ended question. Your thoughts on the way Secret Service handled themselves at the recent events with the assassination attempt?
Grotesque malpractice. If they were any kind of private contractor, they would be sued for violating and ignoring the most basic concepts of security preparedness and maintaining a perimeter. The fact that an armed man with a rifle got within 140 yards of a Trump rally, was able to lay down after positioning himself for minutes and take multiple aimed shots to the point of clipping Trump's ear, killing other people in the crowd, is absolutely grotesque. It's either malice, as I said in a Twitter post, it's either malice or malpractice, gross incompetence. That anyone with any training whatsoever that would stand at the podium where Trump was speaking from and look around and say, where's the likely spot someone's to shoot from? Yeah, it's going to be to the right, where the shooter was, on top of those industrial buildings. And the fact is they had no one watching over that is truly mind-boggling. It was outside of their immediate perimeter. Yeah, that's fine. Just because you don't want your perimeter to be 100 yards doesn't mean someone can.
I think it disconnected.
Especially today with modern rifles. And that's just for a gunshot. They also have to really contend with drones. The amount of weapon knowledge and lethality improvement coming out of the Ukraine fight from both sides is really scary. And the executive protection world hasn't yet felt just how bad that's going to hurt. But I mean, supposedly a 20-year-old kid works through dead space, and dead space is the area that you can hide where the buildings are providing cover, blocking the view of you from the people that are looking for you. He used dead space. He crawled up to the far side of the roof, appeared, and took a number of shots. It is disgusting. Now, even once the shots were going, and you know, the Secret Service can say, well, they didn't have enough manpower and maybe it wasn't better coordinated, but the immediate agents that were around Trump, the immediate close protection detail, was also hugely inept in that they left him on the X. The X is where the bad guy has decided to kill you that day. And the immediate mission of the protective team is to get the protectee off the X and to protect him on the way off the X. And some of the agents were actually taking cover behind Trump from the gunfire. And it took them way too long. And you could even hear some of the radio chatter. What are we doing? What are we doing? Where are we going? That is not how a professional team is supposed to look and sound. It should be autonomic. It should be so drilled to them. They know exactly what to do. If A, then B, if B, then C, and then C, and then D. They know exactly what the permutations are and how to do it. And
and look at that. They're hiding behind Trump. This girl. They're supposed to protect him.
Just missed on so many levels. It's really, really, it's embarrassing. It is like I opened with that article. It is another example of an unaccountable, overfunded bureaucracy embarrassing America. We're embarrassed in Afghanistan. We're embarrassed with this nonsense of a pier in Gaza, $230 million that doesn't even do its job. We're embarrassed by the Navy that manages to lose control of the Red Sea, one of the major waterways of the world. And now our own former president, soon to be future president, also embarrassing. It was not their skill that saved him. It was bad marksmanship And a win call and the fact that Trump turned his head at the last minute is the only thing that saved his life. The Secret Service didn't save him life, and that is pathetic. The reason the Secret
Well, I would say that God saved his life. It was God's mercy that he was alive. Because there's no such things as coincidence. That was not coincidence. That was the work of God, I believe.
Service was started in the first place was to provide executive protection. Clearly, they have failed abysmally at that mission.
Eric, I want to, you, by the way, you said a lot of things here, Rob. If we can show the one clip of the Secret Service agent that's ducking behind her, she's afraid for her life instead of protecting the president's life, which you showed that picture a minute ago, Rob. If you can pull it back up for the audience to see. And I know Eric recognizes the picture. Then there's another one where we're all seeing a video of one of the agents trying to put the gun back into her,
Try to reholster her weapon.
Exactly. Yep. And so this is one that she's hiding, like, oh my God, I hope they don't shoot me, instead of trying to protect the president. But I want to show you a clip, because there's a video that's going viral right now where they're showing 2 minutes prior of the shooting what happened. And I actually want to get commentary of this from you while we're watching it together with the audience. Rob, if you can get this.
Before we get into that, it's just, it sounds a bit fishy. Like, how is it that Secret Services cannot or didn't do anything about it, on time? I mean, these people are trained. These people are trained to protect, to make sure that the whole area is safe. It sounds a bit fishy to me. And on top of that, I watched a video, and I'll pull it up for you guys in a second. There was a bystander. He went to support Trump on this rally, and he was pointing out to this person who was on the roof with a rifle, telling the police about it and the Secret Services. And according to him, he said that they were just acting like nothing happened, or there's no dangers around. So just give me a sec, I'll pull it up for you. So here it is. Let's check it out.
So we had a party here all day at the you can see behind us at the Brinkles Farm and Greenhouse here. We had a party, and we all decided, hey, when we hear Trump up there, we're going to walk up through the field, stand by the trees up there under the shade, and watch and listen to the rally. Right? We couldn't see him, but we could hear him. So we walked up, and probably 5 to 7 minutes of Trump speaking. I'm estimating here. I have no idea. But we noticed a guy crawling, bear crawling up the roof of the building beside us, 50 feet away from us. So we're standing there, we're pointing at the guy crawling up the roof.
And he had a gun, right?
He had a rifle.
A rifle.
We could clearly see him with a rifle. Absolutely. We're pointing at him. The police are down there running around on the ground. We're like, hey man, there's a guy on the roof with a rifle. And the police are like, huh, what? Like they didn't know what was going on. We're like, hey, right here on the roof, we can see him from right here. We see him. He's crawling. And next thing you know, I'm thinking to myself, why is Trump still speaking? Why have they not pulled him off the stage? I'm standing there pointing at him for 2-3 minutes. Secret Service is looking at us from the top of the barn. I'm pointing at that roof, just standing there like this. And next thing you know, 5 shots ring out.
So you're
That's insane. He is just a bystander. He's pointing out to the Secret Services that there is a man with a rifle on top of a roof, and nothing was done. Pretty fishy. I don't know. Let's go back to the video that we were watching.
This ready, the clip of all the different angles, and there's audience saying, listen, there's a man climbed up on top of that building. What are we doing? I want to get your feedback on this. Go ahead and play the clip, Rob.
He was doing his job. I wouldn't even be doing this. It's a beautiful place with the gorgeous ocean.
Look, they're all pointing.
The Atlantic, maybe the Pacific.
Yeah, someone's on top of the roof. Look. There he is right there. Right there, see him? He's laying down. You see him?
Yeah,
How
he's
come
laying
no
down.
one does anything about that? That's just crazy. He's right there.
What's happening?
And to make sure we take back the White House, because if we do,
Look at all these people. They're talking about it.
better than ever before. We're going to make it.
Yeah,
They're
look.
pointing it
There
out.
he is.
Because we have
They're telling the
millions
cops.
and millions of people in our country
Officer.
that shouldn't be here.
That is insane.
Criminals We have criminals. We have drug dealers. We have people that
Nothing was done.
It's much tougher than it happened. Ever. In recorded history, we had the best border. In fact, if they could ever put up a chart, I don't know if they can do it. Do you guys have access to that chart that I love so much? You don't mind if I go off teleprompter, do you?
This is still
Because
going.
these
Now they have a
teleprompters are so
minute to
damn
do
boring. I
something
try
about
and
it.
explain that. Oh, is it? Wow. You guys are doing it. They're getting better with time. My guys, take a look at that chart. Take a look at the arrow on the bottom. See the big red arrow, right?
Minute
so that's
20.
when I left office. That was the lowest point, and that comes right from the government services, comes right out of Border Patrol. Take a look at that. So that arrow is the lowest amount of illegal immigration ever in recorded history into our country. And then
Minute 40 to react.
And then the worst president in the history of our country took over. And look what happened to our country. Probably 20 million people. And you know, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something,
That's crazy. That's insane.
I hope he's turning this way. Be careful,
Rob, you can pause the video at this point.
That's crazy.
So, Eric, what do you see
It's over
here?
2 minutes.
What's this?
2 minutes.
2 minutes.
They had the time.
How do you process that? I mean, first of all, for somebody that's watching this saying, AP reports that even one of the police officers went up there, the guy points the gun at him, and then the cop goes back down. So the cop knew someone's up there, according to AP, and he goes about his business. 2 minutes. So I sit there and I think about it. I said, okay, when something like this happens and you're watching a video like this, one, it's either lack of competency. Two, they're told to stand down. Three, the DEI hires getting people that are afraid and reacting really slow. Lack of training. Secret Service didn't send their best, or all of the above. How do you process this 2 minutes of incompetency here?
Look, anytime, part of it is confirmation bias. You know, the people that are, whether it's the cop on the periphery, he can't believe this is actually happening in front of his eyes, that there's a guy laying down with a rifle about to do something. I mean, even if the cop that withdrew, even if he had gotten behind cover and discharged his firearm into the grass, it would have attracted so much attention that they would have moved to cover Trump. He would have done something, but he retreated and did nothing. That guy probably should not continue to be a law enforcement officer because they failed. The snipers, the Secret Service counter snipers that supposedly were watching the assassin on the roof, but they have a no shoot first rule. Again, I find that amazing and pathetic that you can lay down with a high-powered rifle scope. I mean, look, the rifle scope that guy had, it either has a 300 Win Mag or a 338 Lapua. He's got a 5 to probably 25 power scope. So you could literally tell the freckles on the sniper's face with that power scope. So their ability to see that he actually had a weapon, that it had a magazine in the gun, was significant, and they could certainly do that over that 2 minute period.
Wow.
And the fact that they didn't shoot is highly concerning, and again, over bureaucratized and not trusting the people on the periphery. So it's a failure on all levels. You're always going to have problems with communications, of people observing things, passing it to someone who passes it to someone else and passes them. There's always going to be friction. I don't see any conspiracy there. But what I do see is a failure of the basics of training and the basics of a plan in the first place that never, ever should have left those areas unguarded, unwatched. There's a water tower nearby that you could have put two dudes up there with long guns and binoculars and owned all of that industrial space to the north.
Exactly, right? Like, yeah, they could have done so much to make sure that no one would have tried a attempt of assassination. I think the Secret Services, they could have done something at least to prevent this from happening. They had enough time. People were noticing it. People were shouting. They were telling the police that there is a guy on the roof with a rifle. The snipers could have even seen it themselves, according to Eric Prince. Yeah, so yeah, I don't know. It sounds really hard to believe that it was just a lack of communication, or they just didn't know any better, because these secret services are highly trained to do their job. But who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was just a huge mess up and a failure. Another video that is been going viral is Brandon Biggs. He actually prophesied that Donald Trump was going to be shot in his ear, about 4 months ago. So if you scroll down here, I'll show you. This was posted 4 months ago. So let's play this video and see what he has to say.
Spreading like fire all throughout America, all throughout, and I saw Trump rising up, and then I saw an attempt on his life. This bullet flew by his ear, and it came so close to his head that it busted his eardrum. And I saw he fell to his knees during this time frame, and he started worshiping the Lord. He got radically born again during this time frame. I'm talking, people say he's saved now, but he becomes really on fire for Jesus.
Hey, this is crazy. I mean, the prophecy was accurate. Will Trump become radical for Jesus? Let's hope so. That would be amazing if that is true. Hopefully we can see a great revival the next 4 years if he does get elected. If you want to watch the full video, I'll put the link in the description below. Now, a lot of people have been linking what's happened to Donald Trump to Revelations chapter 13, where the Antichrist will survive a fatal wound in the head. So people are claiming that he could be, Donald Trump could be potentially the Antichrist. So let's dive into Revelations chapter 13 and read this together. Then I stood on the sand of the sea, and I saw a beast rising up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and on his horns 10 crowns, and on his heads a blasphemous name. Now the beast which I saw was like a leopard. His feet were like the feet of a bear, and his mouth like the mouth of a lion. The dragon gave him his power, his throne, and great authority. Verse 3. And I saw one of his heads as if it had been mortally wounded, and his deadly wound was healed. And all the world marveled and followed the beast. So they worshipped the dragon who gave authority to the beast. And they worshipped the beast, saying, Who is like the beast? Who is able to make war with him? Now, could this be Donald Trump? I personally don't think that this is talking about Donald Trump. In verse 3 we read then, and I saw one of his heads as if it had been mortally wounded, and his deadly wound was healed. So Donald Trump got shot in the ear. I don't think that is a deadly wound that was healed. If the bullet hit his brain, that could have been a deadly wound, and then him being healed from it. But yeah, as far as I know, being shot in the ear is not a deadly wound. As bad as it is what happened to Trump, I don't wish that on anybody, but I just don't think that this passage relates to Trump being the Antichrist. According to this prophecy, 4 months ago, he prophesied that Donald Trump was going to be shot in the ear, and then he says that he will get radically saved. Let's wait and see. If he does get radically saved, praise God. I would love to see that day, and I would love to see the state of America and how the people will be blessed, with a great president. Just like the president in El Salvador, Nayib Bukele, we know that he loves the Lord, and his nation is blessed because the way he is leading his people according to the ways of the Lord. So yeah, let's just wait and see, and continue to pray for America, continue to pray for the government, and lift it up before the Lord. And let's rise up together and be a faithful generation and see the lost come to know Jesus Christ. God bless you. And if you like this video, please put a thumbs up, like and subscribe. It helps me a lot. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.